I loved it. The kids loved it. Our principal loves it. In general, the classes are awesome. Most of the time, the parents are really happy with it and they can't believe that it's being offered. Like, they're like, wait, what? Like, economics? They just have no clue that that's something that kids this young can do. That's usually the feedback that I get. They're like, wow, like, I didn't hear about those things until, I was in college, which was exactly my reaction as well. And my favorite part about this was we would learn something like negotiations or something, and then we would continue talking about negotiations for the rest of the year, and we'd be like, making jokes about negotiations or bringing in terms that we talked about in entrepreneurial arts, in social studies, or in English, which was awesome. Because teaching about the Great Depression is so complex. This is just one small piece of it, but it's almost like the key to understanding. And so without this, it's meaningless. You might know some facts about the Great Depression, but it's not going to mean anything to you. You aren't going to be able to critically think about the events. But when we started, I was mostly nervous just about the content because I don't have a very strong economics background, and I was really, really intimidated by the content. Just simple things from Econ 101. I was just wondering how I would deliver to children.
And how did that work out?
Yeah, it worked out very well. It was definitely no need to worry. Yeah, the lesson plans are extremely, extremely detailed, even more so than a normal teacher would prepare a lesson plan. And that's what I love, because we're all about like the IB learner traits. So we're about inquiry, being principled, being caring, being knowledgeable. And those are all things we talk about on a very, very regular basis. And I think that this course brings all of those things in super naturally. I don't have to even think about it. Those kids are doing those things. There's so many real life skills that come through with entrepreneurial arts that these kids can and will use in their lifetime. The kids constantly said it was their favorite class. They loved it. They were always very excited when it was Thursday afternoons, what we were going to do. And there was just like a huge amount of excitement around it for many of the students that I hadn't seen. And the other thing that I loved, I have one student in particular. He's a student who he's become a little bit more mature, but at the beginning of the year, like, you would talk to him and he would just start crying, like, just so painfully shy that he couldn't even like function. And he is very, very quiet, doesn't participate, doesn't raise his hand voluntarily. Like, you have to, like, it's like pulling teeth. But in entrepreneurial arts, he participated. Like, I didn't have to worry about him. He would raise his hand. You called on him. You probably didn't even realize that he was so shy. And he was really, really shy. And he really, like, sometimes the answers he would give, I was like, wow, I can tell he's really business-minded. And it was a strength of his that I hadn't seen just in our normal English and social studies lessons together. And so seeing him kind of like come out of his shell, but he did, and it was amazing to watch him participate and give correct answers and think in ways that his classmates weren't thinking, and be right sometimes, and then everyone else is wrong. It was really, really awesome. Really easy. Everything is just on the website. Under the resources, like, if you can use the internet, you can use this. It's very, very straightforward. There's a lot of fun little movable items. There's lots of answers. If you don't know an answer to something, it's okay, because you can just skim your mouse over it and it's gonna pop up for you. And it's extremely easy to use. We even had some lessons where the students did the online portion and we just watched them do it. So it's not complicated whatsoever. And it's just great. And videos are in there, and the lesson plans are very, very detailed, as I already said, like a piece of cake. I would say for the most part, it's probably girls are less comfortable with the material at first. And if I were to lump them all together, I would say the boys showed more interest than some of the girls. But there were several girls that surprised me that really, really, really got into it too. And I think it's just because traditionally, like, just with our society, like with roles, women and men, more men are going into like these businessy, entrepreneurial career paths. And so I think some of the girls are intimidated, but I hope that it changes their mind, because that shouldn't be the case. And
Lily was like totally
yes, yeah. So she's an example that really surprised me, because she's really like into the literary, like arts, like
Really?
very like artistic, yeah. And her
Wow.
being into it was very, very exciting. I had a lot of kids who have told me they want to start their own business, so this is like exactly the type of thing they need to be getting in their background
Yes.
that traditional schools aren't offering. I feel like the way it's laid out is just like, it's done very, very well. And if you were thinking about doing it, do it, because it's awesome.